Boxing fans, we continue now as Goose and Tudor Promotions, in association with Golden Boy Promotions, Caesars Atlantic City, and Corona and Azad Watches present 12 rounds of boxing in the junior middleweight division. Please welcome El Oro de Guantanamo, Erislandy Lara. Please welcome the former two-time WBO junior middleweight champion of the world, Paul the Punisher Williams.
Paul Williams. Okay, guys, I give you the instructions in your respective corners and dressing rooms. Okay, I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight hard, fight clean, touch them up. Good luck.
Good luck.
What's Erislandy Lara got? What's Paul Williams got left? Lara has never competed at this level in the professional ranks. Paul Williams has never had to come back from a knockout loss.
And we're underway, round one. And Williams comes out and within seconds throws his first punch. He is a man who throws punches in tremendous volume.
One thing about Paul, he don't care who you bring to the dance, he just stays ready to dance, and you gotta love that about him. He don't care who you pick, whoever shows up is who he's ready to deal with.
Lara said he wants to check Williams' chin early to see how Williams has been affected by the knockout, if he's been affected by it. And we see here Lara staking out the middle of the ring. Good left hand to the body from Lara.
And he touches the chin of Williams. And then he hooks with the right hand to the chin of Williams. And then they get tangled up and Williams gets tackled down.
Sergio Martinez stood his ground and threw some haymakers.
Was arrested and sent back. Was one of their top amateur fighters, but had a sense he wasn't going to be put on the 2008 Olympic team. 7 months before the 2008 Olympics, he defected again via a motorboat from Cuba to Cancun, Mexico.
Well, that's Sergio Martinez blueprint. There he goes. Beijing, as you pointed out, we were discussing it earlier, Bob, also not a place where Lara could have defected.
No. He wasn't going to have many sympathetic ears if he tried to defect there. 320 amateur wins, 2005 world champion at 152 pounds. One of the captains of the A team, of the Cuban team. Caution for hitting behind the head, but as he said, you know, 51 weeks in camp, win a couple medals, still doesn't put any money on the table for you.
Really good first round by Lara.
Here you see Lara come in with that signature left hand behind his jab, right over the top, hit Paul Williams right on the button with a beautiful left hand, the same type of a shot that Martinez caught him with, but he wasn't in the act of throwing a punch himself then.
So a good round one for Lara.
Yeah, it was a good round one for Lara. The good thing about Paul, though, is he's about 10 pounds heavier than Lara, so he may take Lara's punch a little better than he took Martinez's punch also.
And Martinez has developed into quite a puncher. On the graphic earlier, we showed you the top junior middleweights. Sergey Zurich is one of them. Martinez also knocks Zurich out. You heard George Peterson in Williams' corner say, "You're not punching first." Are those lingering effects of the Martinez knockout? He doesn't want to get countered.
Good left hand by Williams.
Now he's starting to punch first.
Lara knows he's not trying to fix it because Lara is throwing the same overhand left that Martinez hit him with. So Paul is not trying to fix the mistake. He's just going to work through it. He don't care.
Lara's got a real good boxing reach.
So he's seen tall guys, short guys, quick guys, slow guys. He's seen them all.
After that draw to Carlos Molina, Lara said, you know, I had to look in the mirror what good hard work can do from a Cuban perspective. And Williams gets rocked back and hurt.
First, Williams got to win this fight.
Holding.
He's losing it so far.
Watch out.
And then he's got to make people believe along the way that he can reverse the outcome of the second Martinez fight. So far, he's done neither. You figure that gives Paul a big advantage, but that hasn't happened so far.
Well, if it does give him a big advantage, it'll happen late in the fight anyway, because you expect that Lara won't be so busy, and the more the fight goes, if Paul can get to these early rounds, the more busier he will become.
Williams was short with that left. He's lucky that Lara missed the counter. End of round 2.
Right here you see Lara land a beautiful hook, straight left then followed by a big jab, but the jab really caught Paul off balance and not really set to fight at that time. Had it been a right hook, it probably would have did much more damage.
So Williams embarks upon round number 3. Lara has done a very effective job through the first 2 rounds. Left hand from Lara. Williams misses with his combination.
See, Paul is about to get even more busier now, and Lara's punches are not really having a lot of effect on Williams anymore with the big shots. He just hit him with 2 good straight overhand lefts, and they didn't have an effect on him.
Keep hitting them like that, they'll have an effect, though.
Later on, they would.
Punch out. Come on. Step back. Step back. Suéltalo.
Doesn't even look like the same weight class.
Exactly. Paul being 6'2" and 10 pounds heavier, it just looks like this guy's in a whole separate weight division.
Another straight left hand, though, by Lara that catches Williams.
See how a little defense, little head movement from Paul goes such a long way. He's a guy who fights in close. It seems as though Williams has the chance to be a better defensive fighter fighting from long range, and yet he chooses not to.
Yeah, he fights like he's 5'9", and that's not good. That's what allows these shorter guys to make contact with him. But if that's what you've been doing, like he said, it worked for him for 39 fights.
The trainer's attitude seems to be, do what we were doing, only harder if possible.
Roundhouse left from Lara.
If you're knocked out in your last fight by that punch.
Well, like you said, he said in the meeting with you that they wasn't going to change anything. Not really smart call, I don't think, but he's not changing nothing. He's throwing just as many punches as he used to throw. He's the same Paul Williams, and he's not going to change for nobody. Going 12 rounds or 10 rounds is a whole lot different, and that's what Paul is depending on. He wasn't depending on not being caught with the left hand.
Lara did use a strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, but you see he's starting to show fatigue already.
Well, he's starting to let Williams sort of chase him around the ring instead of standing his ground. And maybe that's already some fatigue at this pace.
Yes, it is.
And as we begin round number 4, let's check in with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob, I got a 3-0, 30-27, Erislandy Lara. I mean, Lara's just punishing the Punisher with that left hand over the top. I guess Sammy Brio is gonna warn Paul Williams.
We're in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Bob Papa, Roy Jones, Max Kellerman, HBO's Boxing After Dark, Paul Williams and Erislandy Lara in round 4 of a scheduled 12-rounder. He's done a better job with his jab as the smaller man than Williams. Williams only 11 of 80 according to CompuBox, 14%. Lara 14 of 55, 25%.
Yeah, but Paul fights like a short guy. He doesn't fight like a tall guy. So you don't expect that he would do so well with his jab. His jab is just something to get him going, not to land. He doesn't use it as a jab is used to keep range. Although he's 6'2", he don't care that he's 6'2". He fights like a midget.
With a 78-inch reach.
Because of the fact that, like I said, to me, the Cuban guys have to get used to going all these rounds. They've been having long careers of 3 rounds.
And pressure fighters, and Williams, though he's not built like one, is certainly a pressure fighter, tend to start slowly.
Not seeing the same kind of pressure from Williams that we've seen in the past, you know, with his punch output in the rounds. Although they've gone up in every round in totality, it doesn't feel like it's the same kind of pressure.
Peterson said, and Williams said, look, you can't stop the punch you don't see. The Martinez left hand, we didn't see it. There's no way to prepare for it. It looks like Williams should start preparing to see a left hand because, as Harold mentioned, it's like a blind spot for him.
Lara got hit with about 3 or 4 lefts as he was holding the right hand of Williams.
leaning on the ropes, trying to get the rest. Oh, good shot. And like we said, he's good at the 1-2, but he's not doing enough of it.
John Stewart scorecards. So Ramos able to pull the knockout punch, turn the fight around, and win. Here, Paul Williams eats another left hand. He had a good round 4, but Roy, at the end of the round, he got caught again.
Yeah, I don't like how much he's getting caught with his left hand.
He is getting hit very clean at the end of that last round and in this round so far, but I love what he's doing, Roy.
What does Williams have to do, Roy, to stop getting hit with these left hands?
Well, I mean, being as tall as he is and being an inside fighter is not really much he can do, because he constantly makes himself available to the shot by fighting so close to the guys. He gives these guys the opportunity to land that shot because of how close he wants to fight. If he wasn't fighting that close and used his reach, they couldn't reach him to land that shot.
Guys, that knot looks like what Rockmont had against Evander Holyfield, where the fight had to be stopped.
Williams works the body. Lara counters to the head.
And they really trading some shots here now. Paul is starting to land some shots. He's still catching a lot of them, but he's landing some too at least. We said Lara was known for the 1-2-1-2, and he throws one big shot, then he doesn't throw anything else. So this is definitely very customary of him.
Lara not using his jab as much as he did earlier either. End of round 5.
There you see those guys come with the heads that clashed right away, right there. And that's probably what caused the big knot. It definitely is what caused the big knot on the side of Lara's head. And it probably also caused the cut on Paul Williams' eye.
That's great camera work where you could literally see the knot develop right after the headbutt.
Exactly. There it is coming right there. And you see Williams' eye right there. You see him squinch. So the headbutt definitely caught his eye as well.
And referee Sammy Virouette ruled that it was the clash of heads that caused that cut and that knot as we begin round number 6, scheduled for 12. No knockdown so far in the fight. 97 punches thrown by Williams in the last round, his highest output so far in the fight.
Paul, let him go.
Good body shot by Lara.
Paul better off on the inside, Roy, where he doesn't get that big looping overhand left that Lara's throwing and he gets to do his thing.
Yeah, he's better off inside, but the problem is on his way inside. That's when the left hand usually gets landed, when he's on his way inside. Once he gets there, it's not a problem to him.
It's amazing a guy's 6'2",
that loves
78-inch reach, and Roy Jones saying he's better off on the inside.
Lara with a left and then hooks with a right hand. Boy, when Lara pushes him off and creates distance, Roy, that's when he has his best success.
It is. That's why I say it's safer for Paul on the inside. But Lara also, you see that mouth open, he's definitely showing signs of fatigue.
Lara's doing a pretty good job using his leverage as the shorter fighter to push Williams back at times.
The overhand left doesn't have nearly the steam on it that it had 2 or 3 rounds ago. But Paul keeps walking right into it.
You think Paul Williams is making anyone think that he could reverse the outcome of the Martinez fight tonight?
No, because Martinez is just appreciably more powerful.
Much more powerful, much more bigger guy than this is.
And Lara's landed some clean lefts.
Time.
End of the 6th.
The left hand landed behind. The jab is landing over the top when he's trying to throw his left hand like he got caught. Over the top again behind the jab with him throwing that low left hand. And once again behind his punches, the straight left hand over the top. You can't keep getting caught with the same punch over and over and expect to beat the elite fighters like Sergio Martinez.
According to CompuBox in the last round, Williams threw a fight-high 108 punches, but he only landed 24 compared to Lara's 23 connects as we check in with Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob, 58-56, 4 rounds to 2, Erislandy Lara. You know, Paul Williams outworks Lara by so many punches. It's unbelievable. But the truth of the matter is that Lara, when he comes over the top with that left hand, he just does more damage. But then Lara came back with a nice round 6, landed that right hook and it's straight right over the top again. So 4-2, Erislandy Lara.
It's uncanny how easy Paul Williams is to hit with that left hand.
I mean, you got to do something different. Put your right hand up high or something. Don't get caught over and over with the same punch.
Sergio Martinez, we're not in the 7th round right now.
You're exactly right.
I mean, he's not even taking anything off these shots, not riding them back. And maybe the hubris of Williams and his trainer, George Peterson, is that, hey, and out of 41 fights, 39 times his style's been enough. Yeah, but if Martinez shows everyone the blueprint and he does nothing to correct it, well, that's what people are going to use.
And he's steadily getting caught with it this round, over and over and over again. Don't keep getting caught with the same punch. And by the way, Lara's corner has done a great job on that knot. You see it's going down some. Oh, that hurt Paul.
Williams taking power shot after power shot.
To me, he's in a danger zone right now because he's getting caught too clear and too often.
Patrick Ewing or Darryl Strawberry or Don Mattingly or Thurman Munson or Reggie Jackson.
So looking forward to the show later this summer. Derek Jeter's pursuit of 3,000 hits.
Max, I got to give you credit. You said it, and it makes sense because, and we all know it, but if you chop on a tree long enough, eventually it's going to come down. He's been getting caught with his left hand so much that in the last round, we've finally seen his knees buckle from that overhand left
I'll
hook.
tell you how much Paul Williams is getting caught. Not only is he losing the fight, but I start to feel that this is a physically dangerous fight for Paul Williams.
That's what
You know, the Martinez fight, he got knocked out in the 2nd round. It was a back-and-forth fight, 2 rounds. That's not a dangerous knockout in the 2nd round. But here we are in the 8th round, and he's getting caught all night long with big shots. This starts to get dangerous.
Kind of reminds me of the old Bill Parcells line when he was talking about older players, too.
He doesn't look like a shot fighter because that was always Paul Williams. This was always his style. He's not shot. Oh, my goodness.
That people didn't think very highly of. Then Molina tonight has a monster upset by a wide margin over Kermit Cintron. Suddenly it's like, you know what, Molina might be pretty good. Yeah, well, Lara also, from a crop of pretty talented amateur middleweights turned pro a couple years ago, looked like the most complete among them. Had some very good early career wins, and many think his career stagnated when he scored a bunch of first-round knockouts.
And he had the proper game plan for that opponent. If he did more, this fight would be over with already. There's no way that a 154-pound top-notch fighter should be able to hit anybody this many times with your favorite, hardest supposedly punch, and don't get him out of there.
Boy, who at 154 would you say be the prohibitive favorite to beat Lara based on how he's looked so far?
No.
You got me? Yes, sir. Okay, keep throwing your jab, and when you get an opportunity to work that body and come up to the head, you're not doing it.
Well, work the jab and move the head. Williams not doing any of that as we embark upon round number 9, scheduled for 12. Lara has been able to land 50% of his power shots in the fight. That left hand has been like radar to Paul Williams.
George, what do you see so far?
Well, what is happening is Paul is letting him get off first. What Paul should do is keep him in a situation where he gets off first because the guy doesn't want to fight. If you notice, whenever you throw that left hand, and that's what he's trying to do, throw that left hand, which is good, but then he want to grab Paul, and then he want to hold him.
How do you advise Paul get away from that left hand?
Well, the correct thing to do is to step away from that left hand, but then you got to take that punch away from him.
George, if Paul Williams loses this fight, we have him down on the card so far. Will you advise him to retire after this fight?
Well, it depends. The fight isn't over yet. I want to see the conclusion of the fight before I go make an assessment like that.
I'll ask the question again because George didn't necessarily give the answer either. How?
At 6'2", and coming straight down the pipe like that is no way. The only way to do that is to be a tall outside fighter who uses your height, uses your range, make him have to reach extra far to get to you with the left hand, then you take it away. Being this tall and coming right down the pipe, you're going to run into it all night long. And this is what's happening. He's this tall, but he's coming straight down the pipe, bringing himself to the left hand. The kid can't miss him.
The thing is, but we see the difference between a Carlos Quintana beating him with a certain style and a Martinez beating him with a style, and Lara now imitating that at the heavier weights.
Oh, gosh.
They can hurt him.
Yeah. And then the one thing I would disagree with George Peterson, I don't think Lara's running. I think Lara is fighting an extremely intelligent fight, and he's making the fight happen the way it works best for him.
That's exactly right.
This is a guy who doesn't want to fight. I don't want to see Lara when he does want to fight.
We're underway, round number 10. Paul Williams and Erislandy Lara. Let's check in with Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob, I've got an 88-83, 7 rounds to 2, Erislandy Lara with that overhand left hand. I mean, doing a lot of damage with the left, getting in occasional right jabs, right hooks, but mostly it's that left hand to Lara. You know, Paul is a busy guy. He's the aggressor, but he just doesn't do more damage in a round. I mean, he's bleeding from the mouth. 7-2, Erislandy Lara.
Lara's landing all of the punches that seem to make time stop for a second, that really register in your mind. Almost all of those kinds of punches are landed by Lara.
Right.
Well,
I actually have it, 8-1 on my card.
he got a pretty good-sized golf ball on the left side of his temple, so he does have a mark.
So that was from a clash of heads?
Although, yeah, it was from a clash of heads, but Williams been doing some work on it with the right hand since the clash of heads to make it a little worse.
This is where Williams has had his best success, is when he's fighting inside. When the fight's at distance, I know it's counterintuitive.
If Paul was putting pressure on to make it hard for him, he could probably tie this guy and beat him. But it's too late for that because the guy's gotten too confident, Lara. And now I don't think Paul's going to have a good chance of stopping him late in the fight.
He's been able to hurt and stop fighters with one punch. He knocked out Quintana in the first round, scored some knockdowns on one shot. Looks like he needs something like that to get back in this fight.
Well, you heard George Peterson. They feel they need a knockout to win this fight. Lara, keeping it on the outside, has had tremendous success. Saw the CompuBox numbers, landing 50% of his power shots in this fight.
Peterson gave Williams a straight dope in the corner. You're going to have to knock him out. Williams said, I know.
Hey, he just hurt Paul real bad.
Right there.
This fight is taking some real years off of Paul Williams' life.
I think there's a good probability that this is the last we see of Paul Williams in a boxing ring.
I hope it is, because he's taking a real killing here tonight. I wish his corner would stop him before he gets knocked out, because it's not safe for him. He's not about to win, and this kid is really teeing off on him now. And you saw him take a step back just a little while ago. And like I said, it's not because of the effort, because of his game. He is as game as they come.
The trainer for Lara, who's not here, he was with Kermit Cinchon as Williams takes another big shot. And then the rest of the Lara team with Miguel Diaz stepping in, because he has fought a very smart fight here.
Roy, you getting nervous ringside watching this?
Yeah, I'm very nervous, because I feel bad for Paul Williams, because he's not going to stop.
He's invested his money wisely. He owns a lot of real estate holdings. He's got positive cash flow. Wants to fish and enjoy his two kids. Said it was only a couple more fights. It might be the last fight.
Lara.
He's just fighting smart, though. Because when it's at distance, Roy, it's all Lara. This is the only time that Williams does anything is when it's close, inside.
Deep breath. Okay.
Put your hands together. This is the 12th and final round.
Paul Williams was knocked out in the second round in his last fight back in November by Sergio Martinez. Vowed that things would be different, but Erislandy Lara has hit Williams repeatedly.
Meanwhile, Lara at 154 pounds, who's going to be really anxious to get in with him? I'm not saying he's the best fighter in the division, but Miguel Cotto, Sergey Zinzirek, Canelo Alvarez, Angulo, Bundridge. I don't see any of those guys as prohibitive favorites against Lara. After this fight, and no way around that.
Maybe Molina's picture should make the cut.
Maybe those two should do it again.
That's exactly right.
It's his only shot. Instead, he takes another vicious.
And what's he do, Bob? He comes right after.
Even harder.
Even harder.
Well, he's been a warrior. He's a great kid.
Is this the final 40 seconds in the career of Paul Williams?
Maybe.
And give all the credit in the world to Erislandy Lara because he stuck with the game plan. He was able to land those long lefts when he needed to.